Go. And it was like 6 hours of me like, okay, and I had to build a house in order to make a set. Like, I want to save points, so when I die, I go back to where my stuff is, and I lose money. So I had to fucking what I had to do. You had to you need a bed in order for that. That's the spawn point. You need to craft a bed. So, oh man, I didn't know how to craft a bed, but I knew I had a bed in my old world, so I got my new character, went back into the old world and grabbed, and I didn't have a pickaxe, and you need a pickaxe to break down the bed so you can carry the bed with you in your inventory.
Jesus Christ.
So I went back into the old world and got a pickaxe, and then moved to the new world with my guy, went back into the old world with the pickaxe, destroyed the bed so I could carry it, bring it into the new game. Holy shit. And then you can't just put a bed down in the middle of nowhere. It has to be in a house. And that house has to be 7 blocks by 5 blocks. And you need to learn how to put walls up, and I forgot how to put... So after this, when I go home, I'm going to build a house so I can put the spawn thing, so I can have a spawn point. And then there. And then we will begin to start the process of working on...
That's fucking crazy.
The next fucking thing. I'm like, fuck you, Terraria! Takes me so long. Anyway, I love the game though. It's just relearning everything. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's pretty shit just for like one game.
It's extremely time consuming, but it's fun. Yeah, it's...
I know exactly what you mean. I've really been wanting to get into a video into like a game recently, but I can't really. There hasn't been anything that draws my attention or really like.
Any of the new stuff isn't really that appealing. It's this next generation of kids that that like, oh, these kids like playing these types of games. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't want to play this.
Honestly, I'm just addicted to Halo, man. Like, I really want there to be, like, if another Halo game comes out, I'm tempted to just get that and get stuck into that again. But then I think I'd have to get, like, a whole new Xbox.
You didn't play Halo Infinite?
No,
the latest
I don't think so. No, I don't think I did.
It's like,
it feels like it's become too much now. Actually, yeah, I love it, but... I think if anything, that would be the game that I do play. There's just too many guns. I like it when games are simple. When there's like when there's less, I like less options. I want it to be like basic. I want to know exactly what the guns are that other people can have, and I don't want to have to worry about certain every time match. I got to match this gun with this thing and this with this armor, and I just want it to be like straightforward. Hey, I have a gun. I can kill. Everyone runs the same speed. You don't have to worry about different armor attachments and different perks and different this and that.
No.
Here you go, I'll swap you that for your old sticky tape. And your mic.
Yeah, let's podcast for like an hour or so, and then I don't know, See what the weather's like. If there's a skit that you want to do and the weather's nice, let's do it. We will venture forth.
That's why I love the really old, like, just the original Modern Warfare Call of Duty game. Simple, man.
Yeah, the further you go back, the more simple it is. Even with, like, music.
It was a lot of fun.
Nowadays, though, it's just... I don't know.
And not only was it simple, but you could kind of complicate it, and there were so many different ways you could play the game. You could just do like rounds of snipers only. You could pick any gun. Like there was enough guns for there to be variety, and you had like plenty of choices of different things you could do, and there was a certain amount of perks. There wasn't just like this unlimited amount of perks. And you could have so much fun with it. You could do rounds with even just like knives only.
Knives only.
LAN parties, man. Computer cafes. I remember going to computer cafes with like, well, usually it would only be 2 or 3 of us, and even that was a lot of fun. But we would get groups of like 10 to 15 of us together, and we would go to an all-nighter. I can't remember what time we'd rock up. It would be maybe like 5 p.m, and we wouldn't come out again till like midday the next day. We would just be playing all night, and it would be the same game. It would be Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but there was just... It was every different kind of gun. It would be noob tubes only, which is your grenade launchers on this map, on this map, on this map. Alright, we're doing snipers only. Oh, on this map, on this map, on this map. Oh, and then just, yeah, knives only shipment, or shotguns only on shipment. That was a lot of fun. I swear...
Close quarter.
I don't know what it was with the shotgun. There was your pump action and then the automatic. I think there might have even been a semi-automatic. But with the pump action, I swear to God, it worked differently with different people. Just the range seemed to vary, and the difference between kill or not kill would be like 1 step. And certain people, for some reason, had just like mastered the difference, and every time I would play with it, I would hit them and they wouldn't die, and it felt like we were in the exact same position and they would get their shot off after me, but I died, and it was just because they were that 1 step closer. Frustrating, but a lot of fun.
What's that called?
I don't know, just the hitbox sensitivity.
Nah, but you're playing on LAN though, so everyone's connection would be exactly the same.
The connection's the same.
You hear it, streamers like complain about it when they die, and they go, "Oh, that's such and such," because
I forget. It's been so long since I've done it. I know exactly what it is. I can see it. Like you have it'd be like 100, whatever. Yeah, I can't remember.
Something to do with ping and stuff like that. Like, oh, this guy's got better ping than me.
No, that didn't matter.
He got the shot up before me, even though he was on my screen before he was on.
No, that wasn't it. Because I would get the shot off and my hit would still land. It was literally just because.
But they win though.
Because yeah, we'd be running at each other, and I would shoot first. But because I shot first, I was too far away, so not as many bullets hit. Whereas that 1 extra step closer, he got the second shot in, but because he was closer. Well, yeah. I don't know if he knew or it was just luck. Like I think maybe in those circumstances, me having a faster reflex paid to my detriment. Yeah.
You've got to be within a certain range in order to receive that.
Yeah, because you got your shotgun and it's got the wide burst spray with the pump action anyway. He could have had... no, I think we all had the grip. Because the grip made it more accurate. There might have been like another... steady aim perk, I think. So if you're hip firing, it was even more accurate again compared to like zooming down. Oh, man. Hours and hours of fun we have with that. Even just playing to unlock like different skins.
Call of
Nowadays,
Duty.
I think they just give it to you. You're just playing the game, and it gives you everything. Whereas before, you had to get 50 headshots to unlock this, and then 150 to unlock the next one, and then I can't even remember what the golden skin was. But
I played it. I played a bunch of Call of Duties, but I'm not really a first-person shooter person. First-person shooter person. I'm not really a person that person that uses first-person, that plays first-person shooters person type of person.
Yeah. Well, what kind of person are you?
I'm a type of person that plays those types of personal games, very personal games. As a person, as a person, I like playing personal games because personally, it
What about side scrollers? You ever gotten into them?
Side scrollers. I play a little bit of Mario. I had a Game Boy once. I played that, and obviously Terraria, and there's some other games and everything like that. I like Fallout. But like Fallout and Skyrim and everything, but Fallout especially because even though it is a first-person shooter, which you can go third-person perspective, but I don't like the first-person perspective when it comes to combat because I'm rubbish.
Because I suck at it.
Fucking shit.
I'm fucking.
I flick the control, I flick the sticks in order to try and get the reticule on the person's head so I can click it, and the person's moving around, so I can't. I'm shit. Unless I spent hours and hours and I had no life.
Well, that's the difference because I get what you mean on Xbox and console. It's a lot harder with on computer. It was a lot more easier. You could just instant hone in because you've got the mouse. It's so much more accurate.
Bang, bang, bang. But the thing I'm like
Xbox, you gotta adjust the sensitivity really high, and then it's so touch. You gotta know exactly
how much. I strafe aim now, so my reticle is at the person's head, and I go like this.
Really basic. And then your opponents figure it out, and they just crouch.
Yeah,
and you can never hit them, and you're just like,
oh, and I have to tap down, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at the ground.
Yeah, you're like, well,
because my sensitivity and
I'm fucked.
Yeah, and then I die, and then I put the controller down, and I go outside.
Hey, you can't do that.
But why I love Fallout so much, to the point where I've got tattoos of this first-person game, even though I'm not a first-person gamer, is because of this wonderful mechanic they have called VATS. And VATS literally just stops time, and you can select body parts, and you can...
Yeah.
Every time I was in a combat situation, I always activated VATS, because unless I was really comfortable and really good with my aim, and the sensitivity was down, I could hit the shots, but every combat encounter in all the Fallout games, I just hit VATS, so then I can go, which percentage of the critical chance they hit the head, and then I'll shoot the weapon out of this person's hand, and then I'll cripple them, and I can just.
That was always cool. I haven't played it, but there was this sniper game where it's no, it doesn't do you can't choose a body point, but when you shoot them, it does the slow-mo, if you get like a really good shot in, and it does like and then it zooms in and you see their skull and it does like an X-ray and it comes out the back.
It's like
Sniper Elite, I think it is.
That's right. Ghost Sniper Elite 3 or something.
Man.
But
yeah, I can't say I've really played. As far as like the third-person shooter goes, I think Skyrim was the first game I played that was like that, because all the games I played was always in first person, and that took me a long time to get used to, because it's so bizarre going when you're used to being like just having the perspective. And all of a sudden you're out above and you don't exactly know where everything is.
I got a friend who gets nauseous
that's fun.
Playing first-person shooters. It's just because of that it's the jankiness of like, I want to look at something, but he can't unless he flicks the stick. And yeah, he just gets nauseous. That's why he plays like car games and stuff, and that's it. But yeah, I like playing those types of easy, relaxed, to sit back and just sort of take your time. I'm not like really those intense first-person Call of Duty shooter type things.
Oh, I love a lot of turn-based games. Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy, like no aiming involved really at all with those ones.
Yeah.
It's all about strategy and timing and yeah.
Skill-based. decision making, tactical thinking on the fly.
Yeah, with Fire Emblem, you've got you're looking down like God, and you've got your perspective from bird's eye view, and everything's in little tiles, and you're just moving them around, and it's like a little chess game, but obviously a lot easier.
Yeah, chess with combat elements and flashy colours and stuff.
Different weaknesses, weapons good against other weapons, and classes good against other classes, different movement, magic, fighting. The story's a bit average, but yeah, the whole strategy, as long as you put it on like a high difficulty, becomes like a lot of fun. Again and again. And then you put the stakes in where you got your different characters. If they die, they're gone for good.
Yeah, you were telling me about that a long time ago when you were playing. You're doing a playthrough of one of the Final Fantasy games.
Oh yeah,
and whenever a character would die, like that's it, or something like that, or something like that.
I was playing one of the newest version, and they released this difficulty that is absolute insanity because you start off and you've got your level 1 characters, and they're like immediately like at 13, 14, and 15, and they kind of like one-shot everything. And yeah, that was almost frustrating. I think I gave up on that because it was just too difficult. Like to the point where it just wasn't any fun, because I don't know how many levels there are in the game, but I would spend like a week just defeating the first level, because not only the level wasn't hard to beat, but the percentages on leveling up certain characters' stats, like you want your main character to be really good in like strength and magic and have a lot of health, and each time you level up, there's a percentage for each character as to whether those stats are going to go up, and if a character is good at magic, then they have a high percentage, and all that's lowered in this difficulty, so it doesn't even matter if you beat the level. It's if your characters are leveling up within that level and they don't get the stat bonuses, it's, well, gotta start that level again, because when it comes to later on, you're gonna be outmatched and you won't be able to like defeat those further levels. So it became less about actually beating it and just all chance, which took the fun out of the game.
And that's when you realise you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're like, okay.
Yeah. Not for me.
You just put the controller down. Yeah, I was like that with some games. I don't play a lot of games. I mean, all the games that I have on the Xbox, I've already bought them. I don't really plan on buying any more games unless there's some small indie game that's like really addictive and fun looking that you barely have to play it, you know what I mean?
Did you end up playing Subnautica?
I haven't played the game, but I've seen like hundreds of hours of playthroughs since like 2016 onwards. So I've played the game, but I haven't.
The first one. It'd been a long time since I played a game, and I was so excited and immersed when in it. But the second one came out, and then, I don't know. I think maybe because it was in early release that it wasn't as fun. But the first one, it was during the first period of COVID that we had, and we all had like 2 weeks off or something, 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember the time. And I ended up getting that game, and I fully like submersed myself into it, where I'll be playing it at night time, and I had it on my TV, and I'll be like right up close, and I don't think it is first person. I think it's slightly third, but it's kind of like in the middle, so you are a bit closer, and you're underwater, and you're all just completely immersed in this game, and it's dark and it's scary, and you hear these faint noises echoing around, and these monster screams and something, and you're jolting and turning around, and it feels like you're really there, and that got some really good jump scares on me, and not because it's a scripted jump scare, but just because there are these monsters floating around, and when they get close to you, they like latch onto you, and it jumps onto your face, and took me a long time to get anywhere in that game, because I was just shit scared to go anywhere. I'd be like just tracing along the ground, like swimming and crawling out, get to something. Yeah, like, just because I was playing it at midnight, just in the pitch black, and this is all I could see. And the game itself is really dark.
Like it's dark. Like
it's
you
fun,
can't
though,
see
like,
in front of you unless you have a certain light source.
I haven't had that kind of thrill from any other game really, where the chills.
I know.
Once you got to, sorry.
Even if you have like the necessary like oxygen tanks like that's another factor that plays into like that fear of like it's like oxygen usage. Like it's like you've been wandering around and you might get a bit sidetracked and go, do I have enough like air to make it back
all the way back? Yeah.
Like, oh shit! And like you have to find like those little pocket bubbles of air so you can like get underneath it and get a little bit of air from that, and then like oh shit, and things start to get darker and darker. You're like oh no, and then you like get back to your base and you.
Luckily, I never had that issue. I'm always quite calculating when it comes to that. Like the risk to reward, I always play it like very low risk. I would spend a lot of time because you got these milestones of like safety and feeling comfortable where you can get a bigger oxygen tank. You can get this vehicle and you get in, you're all cozy and you feel safe. All these monsters can't touch you. You get to a new area. And all of a sudden, it's scaled up monsters. Something even bigger that's grabbing on.
That's
or
what
they've got those weird octopus things that and teleport you out of it, and you're in this safe, comfortable, big crab thing that's crawling around, and it teleports you out, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of the ocean.
And it's cold
and it's dark, and you can't see anything.
You got limited air. And you're like, where's my thing? You have to reorientate yourself and. I think that's awesome.
And it's like immediately turn around. Where's my shit? And you're swimming straight to them. I just want to get back to that comfortable zone. Yeah.
You get back into your little, and you're like, oh yeah, that's better. Oh yeah, well I wasn't scared.
and you just hold. As soon as you get back in, you hold the trigger, and you're just out of there. Turn back around, just see where he is, what's happened, reevaluate, and then make a plan. Go back in.
Yeah, so that way, and you make a note, like, over there, that's where that thing is.
But once every new kind of, like, obstacle or monster came along, and you would adjust to it, and then you'd feel fine again. But that initial thrill of playing the game where everything is unknown, a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I like it when games do that. I like games that actually do that aren't like, here's our story, and look how nice the game looks. I want like this big world building thing that you can get lost in, so that when you're an old man, you can look back and go, I remember when I went to this alien water planet, and I did the thing, even though you didn't actually do any of that. And it's like, but you kind of did.
I like it, yeah.
You kind of did to an extent, and you look back and you'd be like, yeah, I did that, but you didn't. But you did, because you have memories of going to certain areas and being in certain... Like, it happened to a degree, it happened. But
that's why I think I was so disappointed in the second game, because it just wasn't the same feeling. I'm not sure what the difference was. I think visually it looked as good. Maybe there weren't as many creatures. I can't remember exactly what it was. But... I guess it's because I'd already experienced it. I already knew what like a lot of the things were and what I had to do, and that there wasn't the same feeling of unknown and uncertainty. Yeah, I don't know. I just remember feeling like let down. There weren't things. I think actually maybe because I was on land a lot more. You're in this kind of ice hellscape, and
oh, that's right.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
remember it.
Out of water, because being in the water and the deep and the dark was really what made the game fun, whereas this yeah exactly.
That's right. I remember the sequel. Yeah, it's like they're gonna try and replicate the underwater thing, but on land to a degree.
Yeah, there's a lot on land and just walking around in spaces where there wasn't much of anything. Like you were just kind of getting to the next area, and there wasn't any there would be certain puzzles and challenges in between, but it didn't have that fear factor. Yeah. It was, you're cold now, and you're trying to get to there, and you got to stay warm. And, I got this fruit that heats me up. All right, stock up a heap of those, and then you just...
eat them.
Right,
I'm good now.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Made it to the next area. Not a problem.
Yeah, that's the thing about... when they make sequels and stuff, and just that first initial rush of playing a game that you've never played before, you're like, this is amazing. And then when the sequel comes out, it's more of the same, but they're trying to do a new twist on it, and it's like that feeling is kind of lost forever, kind of thing.
Well, that being said, I still do hope they do a Subnautica 3. It would... I did still enjoy playing the second game, not as much as I did the first, but if they made a third one, I'd jump straight on it, and maybe they'd learn from their mistakes of the second. If it didn't do well, I don't know here or there whether it had good critique or not. Just of you and me, how we felt about it. That's
yeah, and you played it, and I didn't play it. I just watched people play it.
Yeah,
and
I mean, a lot of people played it, so I guess that's all that matters.
Yeah. It all depends if they made enough money and they have like a story for it, you know what I mean?
I think the map wasn't as big either, because in the first one, I mean, it wasn't a massive open world. It was kind of open world, but it didn't have it wasn't as far reaching as something like Skyrim. But you could definitely go a lot deeper and into these really dark, unknown depths. And just exploring in the first game, there's a lot more variety and choices for that. Whereas in the second one, I don't think there was as much, and that probably could have been what hindered it for me.
Yep. See, it's the same with Terraria. Terraria is very similar to Subnautica because you have limited this, limited that. You have to pay attention to this and pay attention to that. And what you do is you're on the surface and you go underwater, which is underground. So you dig, and you get underwater. And when you do that first, for the first time ever, you have this
straight forward the whole time.
I don't know.
Sorry,
I
wanted to close the door just because I couldn't remember if that. I don't think it actually affected it last time, the noise of the aircon. But I figured I'd close it just in case.
Yeah. But you go down and you do a bunch of things and you go back up. But when you very first play the game, and you got your little pickaxe and you're digging down and you start encountering the spiders and the zombies and the this and that, and oh, look at this ore, but you can't mine it. So you have to make a stronger pickaxe, and then you can mine it, and you're like, oh, and then you look at the ingredients you need, and you can see what you can make, the potential things that you can make with this ore that you have, and you're like, oh, and you're doing this, and you dig down, and there's different biomes, and this one's crystally, this one's snowy, and this one's cave-like. You're like, oh, that's great. But once you've that initial thing, and you have a 4-year break, and then you jump back into it, there is that slight, it's so small now, but it's like, oh, wow. But then you're like, oh, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, well,
I've been here. Oh, look, it's this biome. And it's cool. Like, look at all the crystals. You're like, oh, yeah. Oh, this is where the honey, and there's a queen bee around here somewhere. And because you already know that if you go to that honey biome area and you start breaking the honeycomb things, it'll summon that killer bee that'll fly around the queen bee. Because you know that that's a thing, and you're like, oh yeah, it's that expectation.
The game kind of reminds me of Minecraft, and I do the same thing anytime I ever jump back into that game, which is it's rare, but sometimes I do because you think, the exploration, and you've got unlimited amount of things I can make and craft and put together and build and find something else.
This?
And
you're like, oh, I know what this is.
Yeah, and I jump in the game and I play it for about 20 minutes, and you're like, oh yeah, and you make the armor and you get the diamond and you dig it around and you make a little base and you're just like, all right, yep,
already done this.
Done this before.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah.
I remember this game. Move on. What's next?
But there's a sequel.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh! And you play that, and it's like, it's more of the same, but there's new things.
Yeah, a couple of new things.
So it's trying to get that same very first feeling that you had playing the first game.
I thought Halo did that. That as well really well, but they, with the first 4 games mainly, with the first, actually no, it's probably up until Halo Reach, where even though it was the same, because the same was really good, love the same, but when it came to still having that like fresh new feeling, I thought they did that really well. Every game there was something enough to make it feel like it was a different game in itself, whether it had to do with the map creation or the different kinds of levels or the different enemy, and then every time there was a different enemy, there was just this whole new list of like weapons that you were using, and it was like you would only be using those weapons too, and you'd be getting used to them. And I think that's what made Halo work so well.
And when your gun was depleted or something like that,
You had to chuck it away and use whatever else you had in the battlefield. It wasn't
find a needle and you go, oh yeah, I'll just use this for now, and then you get to the next area and you're trying to look for enemies that have that type of gun that you're like, oh yeah, and you go and kill that enemy that will drop that gun, so you can replenish the ammo or just straight up pick up the new gun.
And it kind of forces you to use different weapons, which I really enjoyed. Maybe some people don't like that. Maybe that could be a big difference between people that play Halo and Call of Duty. Call of Duty, you get used to one weapon and you kind of become an expert at it, and you're focusing on that, and you get all the different attachments for it, and you're kind of leveling up this one guy. Whereas in Halo, you have to be more versatile, and it really is. You run out of ammo for this, you just chuck it down. And what's the closest weapon to fight? Yeah. And it really forces you to use different things, and even each level kind of starts you off the different weapon depending on what the Master Chief has going at the time, which is pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not tired. I'm just yawning because I swear it's the weather, and I woke up at like 4:30 thinking that it was like approaching 6. I was like, oh yeah.
Thinking like 6 is any better.
Yeah, because the weather, right? It was dark, and I usually wake up pretty early, and it's usually dark, especially in this time of year. Type of year. And I'm like waking up, and it's still dark, but I'm awake. I've had my necessary hours of sleep. I want to get up, and I go, oh, and I press the thing just to see what it says. Fucking 4:30, and I'm like, huh? And I look at it like, nah, it's like 6:30, right? It's gonna be that's pretty damn early. 4:30. I'm like, well, I'm not going back to bed. I'm up. So I get up and I had breakfast and I did feed the magpies, blah blah blah. And then it's like, oh yeah. And then I come here and everything, and I'm fucking full of energy and everything like that. But this weather is so nice, and it's just so chill. And I'm wearing the world's most comfortable clothing.
It's if I could describe like the weather in like any kind of like body motion, it's this.
Yeah, I'm so ridiculously comfortable.
Need the cushion, and actually put your mic down a bit. So the tape is like right at the top of so it kind of doesn't dangle around. Come on. Yeah, I know what you're feeling though. Whenever it comes to the days that we're filming, I get quite excited when I go to sleep, and I have a lot of, doesn't matter how tired I am, I have a lot of difficulty falling asleep. So I'll kind of lay there and maybe do some Sudoku or something just to try and wind me down, like the knitting.
There's a CIA document, declassified CIA documents that were released in 2003. Hundreds of pages or something like that. They even have audio of it as well. And it says they teach different agents and stuff how to fall asleep in. It's even, they do it in the military too.
Oh, really?
How to fall asleep within a few minutes, no matter if they're in the war zone or wherever. And you have to lie down and close your eyes and focus on areas of your body and tell them to shut them down. Like, I'm shutting down now. I know there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but I'm shutting down.
I don't know about this.
I'm shutting down this, I'm shutting down this, I'm shutting down this. And you have to say like numbers, and you have to say certain...
Oh, so it's kind of like you're trying to hypnotize. It's like a little mantra that you're doing.
It's self-hypnosis on a logical scale that's tricking the brain into thinking, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and no, but then you have what's the sleep paralysis, where you just like, you're awake, but you shut down your body, and it's like, oh fuck,
oh shit, I can't move.
Hey guys, but nothing's coming out. Yeah, have you ever had sleep paralysis?
No, but it's funny you mentioned that. I watched a video the other day about this poor woman. This poor lady had this big sleep paralysis type scenario, and there's footage of it. She recorded it herself, or a friend recorded herself. Yeah, having the sleep paralysis type thing where it's like, huh? She's like, eyes open, and she's kind of like.
Were they moving around? Was she like? Was that? How could they tell that she? Did she have something connected to her brain? Were there like brainwaves? How do they know she was awake and not just like?
I think it's I don't know. Was it even sleep paralysis?
Because what if she was like dreaming about having sleep paralysis, and then but she's just one of those weird sleepers where she sleeps with her eyes open, or like she's like a sleepwalker or something. Because how would you actually be able to like? Sure, with the video evidence, she could just be like, "Oh, my eyes are open. See, that's my sleep paralysis." But without like actually measuring or studying her brainwaves, how would you be able to tell like the difference?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was just like footage or something.
I guess there could be something happening. Like she could be like, "Yeah, I saw you standing there. Oh yeah, you're awake."
Yeah, I don't know. No, I've never had any of those things. I've never sleepwalked or anything like that.
I had sleep paralysis.
Body experiences and astral projection and all this kind of stuff. But
I had sleep paralysis one time. It wasn't even the shock of it was a bit weird. Like you wake up and then it feels like there's just this pressure on your chest, kind of like pushing you down. Like it really does feel like someone or something is on top of you. Well, the time I had
like a demon.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's your initial thought, and I think it really did feel like something was just there because there was a very specific weight pushing in a spot, like really like kind of holding you down, and you could kind of like push against it, and mine only lasts for moments because I felt like I kind of just like really just forced myself out of it. I just like clenched and just like. And
you're like, hell nah, man.
Hell nah.
Yeah, fuck this.
Nah. No, yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. I just like forced it. I just pushed like in an instant everything in that one spot straight up, and then I sat up and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, like that was a fucking scary feeling.
Yeah.
Couldn't move. And then you're like,
look around. It's not even the not being able to move. Like if you woke up and couldn't move, that would be a whole nother experience because you'd be like, oh fuck, what's wrong with me now? Like, am I paralyzed? Is there something really bad happen to me? But this was like you wake up and I don't know if I couldn't move or not. Like I felt like maybe I had still the usage of my arms, but something was just kind of pushing you in, and it felt like it was almost like if you were to go in water and something just like someone jumps on top of you and pushes you down like deeper into the water. That's what it felt like. You were like falling, something's pushing. But yeah, I don't think I took notice of whether I could actually move my fingers or arms or hands or anything. It was so instant where I just pushed up and sat up. Thank God.
Yeah.
Because I have friends who talk about it, and one friend, he said he's had it happen to him quite a couple of times. And he couldn't get up. He just had to wait it out.
Yeah, I don't want to experience anything like that.
Yeah, and what's worse is what really distinguishes it from it feeling like something's just on top of your body, whereas it's like a really specific thing pushing down on you. Is that if he felt like something was there and holding him down the whole time, and after he kind of like gave up on being like scared anymore, he felt like it kind of just like let him go. It was just like, oh, this isn't interesting anymore. Like, and it got up, and then he kind of felt the presence also leave the room, which is it's a bit spine tingling.
Yeah, well, that's another topic about what people are saying on the internet about demons and stuff, like actual like demons the entities that are from a different dimension other than this one that we're in now, and they like to feed off of like negativity and stuff. There's all this what people are saying on the internet and everything, and it's so hilarious because I bring it up with my dad, and my dad's like mid to late 60s, and he doesn't have time for any of this like silly like demons and dimensional rift, interdimensional aliens and stuff like that. So whenever I talk to him about it, whenever I go to his and I talk to him, he just goes, he he's got like a short temper. He's like, huh?
Huh?
He's like talking about, and it's like,
Huh?
demons, fucking demons. I tell you what, and you're like, fucking demons. You don't have to believe any of that shit. You don't believe in the fucking like you know, and you'd be talking about like it's like oh it's all bullshit. Like it's all it's if you want to talk about demons, and then he would drop like some like
I'll show you demons.
yeah
son.
yeah. He would drop like this. He would tell me a story or something that would like just scare
When
the
I was
shit out of
your
me.
age.
Yeah, it's like when I was a kid. Like, all right, here's a cool story that my dad told me. Very very quick story that he told me. He lives on a farm, pretty much.
Get on with it. Oh, my belly, bro.
Like for the next
Your
45
infection's
minutes. Or the belly button.
No, my belly was rumbling.
Oh, I thought it was just a belly button. Yeah, mine was growling too. I'm
Ooh.
like, I need to eat more
Ooh.
snacks.
Yeah, might get. You keep going. I'll grab something real quick
Actually, let's have the next 5 minutes.
to eat.
Yeah, just be noise. So we can make as much noise, and you can just edit this out. We can cut this part.
Oh, that was awesome. I think I have had this.
Oh, give me it.
I'm worried it's I have a hunch it might be a little bit too sweet, actually.
Well, I'll let you know.
Let me know. Let me know.
Okay, so Cocoa Coast,
I'll be back in a sec. You run solo.
pure hydration, young green coconuts, and luscious lychee. Cholesterol free. No added sugar or preservatives. Naturally gluten and dairy free. It is natural coconut water. Unlike that unnatural coconut water, we don't talk about that. The real question is this carbonated? Because if this is carbonated, then we have an issue. Because I don't like carbonated fizzy water or liquids. Oh, that sounded carbonated, didn't it? Oh, it's not carbonated. Not as cold as I was expecting it to be, but I get it. It's coconut water with a hint of lychee, which is pure hydration,
Hello there.
and it has young green coconuts and luscious lychee with no added sugar or preservatives, cholesterol free, naturally gluten and dairy free.
Naturally.
Not sponsored. It tastes okay.
Have you tried one of these? Do you like a strawberry flavored though?
Strawberry flavour, chuck it.
Oh.
Tiny little Oreo.
It'd be. Oh, they're delicious, man. These with a cup of tea.
Oh,
Like
no.
certain biscuits work really well dipping them in tea. Tiny Teddies suck. They're just like the chocolate ones. I don't know if it's
I never got into Tiny Teddies.
these Oreos are made to be dipped. They're like really soft and airy. The Tiny Teddies are a bit too kind of dense and funky.
You want to try a vegan rice cracker chicken flavoured rice cracker?
Well, since you sold it, really.
I mean, hey, try them. Have one. Have
rice
one or two.
cracker.
Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah, little tiny things.
they're kind of nice, but at the same time, it's kind of like, They're very
They're good. They're
Yeah.
really nice. Yeah.
They're nice.
It's like noodles, like your little $2 noodles where you crunch them up.
Yeah, but it's like
Well, even better, like more
puffy,
Yeah.
like, and they just sort of break it when you mix it with the saliva, it just sort of breaks down into like a mush, and you're like, oh yeah.
Did you ever take them to school? I used to do that all the time.
These
No, 2-minute noodles, and then you crush them up in a bag.
I
and
did
just
for a
eat 'em-
while.
eat 'em
Yeah,
whole.
yeah. I used to, and you're like,
Someone started talking about how it's like bad to eat them like that because they expand in your stomach, and I'm like, well, I would have eaten the whole thing cooked. Anyway, what's the difference? like my stomach can't fit a full pack of noodles.
So it's doing it in real time as you eat it, as opposed to doing it outside of your body and
It would
then
take
consuming
forever
it.
to like expand, but I don't know.
It depends on how big your stomach is, I guess. Jeez. Wouldn't there be a giant warning saying, do not eat raw?
Probably is actually. Wait. I don't know why. This is our.
I thought this was going to be
Is that thing
carbonated.
called where people do the really close to the mic and make like the weird smacking and eating noises? So there's the mukbang.
ASMR. Yeah.
ASMR, yeah. There's the mukbang.
Mukbang. Just jamming food into your gullet.
Eating lots and lots and lots of food. That's that really cool perspective I saw they do on one of them. Where I'm not even sure how they do it. They have like a camera on top of their forehead, but then there's a certain but then there's a certain perspective where it kind of like rounds the whole thing. So then it almost makes the perspective coming like straight from the mouth, and then when they eat, it's like food is coming into their face. It's strange. It looks really cool though. It's like
Oh, yeah.
just for that perspective, I quite liked it. But, you know, you watch it for a couple of seconds, and you're like, all right, yeah, I got it. Food. Nice. Baby. Refresh.
All right, real quick. All right. Real quick
Make it quick.
story about my dad.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
So my dad is very grounded to reality. He doesn't believe in...
Who's a real man?
Yeah, he's old school, right? Old school doesn't believe in all this whole like aliens and stuff like that, and witches and monsters and stuff.
Oh, it's still kind of warm.
And I was leaving his farm. He's not a farm. He's kind of like looking after this like ex-farm. But anyway, he's on a farm, right? And he living there. He's got big open fields and everything like that. And we're talking for hours and hours. And then I left. And as I left, I was like, oh, yeah. And we just sort of, and there was a moment of silence. And I looked out into the fields. And I said to him, hey, Dad, you ever encounter any skinwalkers? And he goes, skinwalkers? What's that? It's like, oh, well, you know, the whole myth of, you know, there's different types of skinwalkers in every region. We got Australian ones that they call out and pretend to, oh, help me, can someone help me? They make them sound like they're like a kid or a child or a man that's in pain, but then as you get closer to them, they're like, yeah, over here, but they're actually just these like entities that are possessing these people that they've already killed, and they're like, help, but it's all just fake. And then when you get close to them, they grab you and they eat you, and they use your skin, and then they mimic your voice, and they go, oh, and they try to, my dad just immediately, with that short temper of him, goes, what? Fucking, you're fucking, that's not fucking, like, that's not true, like, that's just so, like, you kidding me? Like, there's nothing, look, there's bandicoots, alright? You got bandicoots, you've got birds, you got fucking brown snakes, you got spiders the size of your hands and stuff like that, you got fucking possums, and that's it.
He just looks at you. Who are you? You're not my son.
Yeah, no, you sort of snapping like this, and like, you can't fucking tell you with it. You're like, you fucking skinwalkers, you're on the internet too much.
He just keeps mumbling while walking away, and you're like, Dad.
Yeah.
Dad.
Seriously, he's like, no. No, fucking old man yells at clouds.
He's just
you know?
walked away.
Yeah, he's just. No, but I'm quiet, and he's just going like, no, fucking, you watch too much internet, you know, you shouldn't believe any of that shit. Like, it's not true. It's like, and then after a while, he stopped and he's like, hey, you know, when I was about.
He gets into it. He's like, wait a minute. Yes, this happened to me.
When I was about. Yeah, I was probably a teenager. I was probably 14, 17, something. Me and we were riding motorbikes, me and the friends. Yeah, so out back in sort of like in the farming area where we used to grow up in the farm and everything, and there was this old little shack. And yeah, we drove past and everything, and there's a shack there's like a lady in there. Like there was an old lady, disabled lady in the shack there. and you used to go to the shack, and there's like this shack, and I'm like, oh, you used to go there, and
That's how I met your mother.
yeah. But he then went on to tell me this brief story about a shack in the middle of nowhere in this farmland, not far away from where we were actually talking, where he grew up over there in the rural areas, in which there was supposedly, allegedly, an elderly old lady that would go, but like it didn't make any sense because because they went in there once to actually see if there was someone there, and there was like a lady that was calling out like, yeah, I'm in this room, come over here, yeah, over here. But the shack looked unlived in, like there was dirt and there was cobwebs everywhere, like there's no footsteps or anything like that. It's just a rundown shack, but you could hear a voice of an old lady saying, yeah, I'm over here, come in here, boys, over here. And my dad, as a kid, was so scared.
Just like a little old lady or something, you're just
like he was supposed to go and like give her something like that, but he was too chicken shit and too scared. He was like, no, I'm not doing this. But something like that, where there was a shack with an old lady in it, but they never saw the old lady. Or something like that. And I'm butchering the story because it was a very long time ago. Yeah. But it's just hilarious to see my dad being so anti this, anti that. All these myths, creatures, monsters.
Immediately he's like, wait a minute.
Oh, let me tell you a story about something that happened like that. And same thing with aliens and stuff. You'd be like, fucking aliens don't exist, right? We're it. There's nothing else. There might be some other planets out there, but the aliens would only be little tiny, like, microbes and stuff like that. We're in what we call the Goldilocks zone, Ben. You have to understand that there is this amount and that amount, which creates the life, and like anything outside of that is clearly, and if they are light years away.
No,
let me tell you a story.
But if they are real, let me tell you a story of this one time when I think I met an alien.
Yeah, like, well, I did grow up with one for several years, and then he had to leave when I turned 15, and he took off back to Mars. But they don't exist. I'm like, what side are you on? So when I was talking to him about like sleep paralysis and shit like that, and he's like, oh, demons, that it's all in the mind. But then he pulled me aside and like, demons are real, but they only exist to the individual. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, demons are real, but they only exist to the individual. So you will never... I will never see...
Dad? Demons are real.
They are real, but they're not.
No, he's like the NPC. And you keep asking him the same question, and they only give you the one response.
Demons are real. Demons are real. Demons are real. Demons... Mike is done talking. Mike is done talking. Those of you who play Skyrim will understand that reference. When you exhaust an NPC's dialogue.
Yes, I know.
But yeah, I was like, what do you mean? It's like they exist, but they don't exist. Like demons and shit. It's like, yeah.
What do you mean?
It's like, I will never see your demons, you will never see mine, but they exist, but they don't exist.
I kind of believe that in the idea of like if there is like a hell after you die, I think it only exists within what your own beliefs are. Like as you create the hell, like your soul
if you believe you're going there, you're going there.
Yeah, like you create hell by believing it.
Yep.
And you draw yourself to a whatever dimension, whatever reality, you create that reality for yourself to enter. And
that's where you're gonna go. It's as simple as that, because
you believe in hell, you're going to hell.
Well, it happens in this life now. You gravitate towards things that whatever you believe in and everything, it exists. Like you go into a house and it's abandoned, and you don't say, no one's told you that the place is haunted, and you're like, oh, this place, and you spend the night there. You might hear some creaks and stuff. You're like, but you don't see anything. But I mentioned like, hey, by the way, this place is heavily haunted. You might experience some things. You're gonna experience every single holy shit! I saw. What the hell is that?
That reminds me of when I watched.
You gravitate towards things that you decide to believe in.
Yeah, Paranormal Activity. Yeah, it was the first one. We watched it in cinemas, and God, it scared the shit out of me and my best friend. And coming home from that, we caught the bus, and then walking like in the pitch black back to our houses down the street. Every noise, every creak, every wind blowing, every just everything, everywhere, all at once. Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just amplifies it all and really gets under your skin. And that was a fun. It's what makes it fun as well. Gotta feel alive.
Yeah, I know, and I like it. That's why I like horror and everything. When horror movies, when it's done well, But after the movie, you sit there and go, "Fuck, man, that's messed up."
But you really like movies like that. You really got to, especially Paranormal Activity. You got to buy into it. If you have no belief in it, because one of my cousins watched it and she was like, "What the fuck? That's the shittest movie I've ever seen." Because she just doesn't believe in anything like that. So it just has no effect on her. She's just watching. She's literally just watching a Big Brother episode and going, but a Big Brother episode with nothing in it. The amount of shots in that thing where nothing is happening because it's all the suspense and it's all the build up, and she's just bored out of her mind.
And then bang, and you're like, and she probably goes, "Oh, that's." Yeah, because you jolt at things that are loud. You go,
the biggest scare I ever got from any movie was from that movie, and there's one of the climactic finales at the end. There's like the demon shakes the house or something, and in the cinema, I swear they must have turned it up just for that one scene. It sounded like thunder struck beside us, like lightning hit straight in the seat next to us. Woo! And it vibrated up you, and it was scared the shit out of me and my friend. And yeah, that was probably one of the worst scares I've ever had. And it's like a jump scare, but just it just threw you, and you were just like, it wasn't not only the scare of not expecting it, but it just resonated and vibrated and held for a moment, and it just gave you chills that lasted for a while. And you look at your arm afterwards, and everything's just standing up. And you're like, oh.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, I like that.
No, I didn't piss myself.
Oh, let me check. Oh, thank God. Fully grown adult male, yeah. But there was a huge thunderstorm not long ago.
The memory of that feels good.
I sat out on my front porch and watched the thunderstorm, and holy shit, man. When you would see a lightning strike so violently that it actually had magnesium color to it, but you didn't hear it. It just goes. You're like, and then, and you're like, holy shit! That starts off with, and then it hits, and it goes boom, and I'm like, ah! But you see it, but you don't hear it, and that's what I love about it. Where you see these things, and you're like, that was probably 400 meters away.
I told you about that story,
and then, you're like,
yeah.
And it vibrates your chest. It's how close
it's closer.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh.
I told you about that story just before moving, where outside my window I heard those strikes go off.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so bizarre, man. I don't even know. So I'm lying in bed one night and I'm going to sleep, and I can't remember exactly what happened. It was there were these lightning strikes going on. Well, I didn't see the lightning, but all I could hear was the thunder, and it was coming resonating from two spots, but it sounded it almost sounded like a conversation. It'd be like,
hey man, what's going on?
And it didn't oh hey bro, you bring the soda. Yeah, okay, you got the chick. Yeah, go hang out at yours. Oh no, my parents are home. Can we spend some time? Yeah, you come over, man. Parents away for the weekend.
I got Xbox.
I didn't actually see what happened, but it was kind of, and it didn't exactly sound like thunder either. I can't remember exactly what it was, but the timing between each of them was it really did feel like a conversation. It was very very strange, where it was just one went off, then the other went off, then and each, well, what made it even more defining is each time each sound I heard was in the exact same location between these two things, where it went back and forth a couple of times, and I was just sitting there going, trying to process it and understand, like realizing, wait, how is it in this same spot, and why is it going back and forth? Why are they not like? And then by the time I realized what was happening and made a connection, hey, this doesn't seem natural, I got up and then looked out my window, and then there was nothing. There was no more. There was no lightning. There was no more thunder. It was over.
It just stopped.
Yeah, and I missed it. And I was like, But yeah,
Well,
pretty cool that happened.
can you answer?
Yeah, it can probably be described as some phenomenon that.
Yeah, it's a phenomenon.
Yeah.
It's a type of rare phenomenon.
It's not,
It's
it's
not.
interesting.
Well, that brings me to the question: what is thunder?
What is?
When you were at school and they taught you what thunder was, what is thunder? How is thunder formed?
Yeah. Well, no, you mean lightning? Well, lightning's the visual, and thunder's just the sound.
Thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
So how does that happen? I want to see if what teachers taught you is what my teachers, because we got raised in different schools.
Yeah.
I was in this school and you were in that school. I got taught by
I-
Mrs.
I-
Mackenzie. You
yeah.
got taught by Mr. Phillips.
Yeah.
What did Mr. Phillips teach you?
So I can't remember what exactly it is that
What's
causes
thunder?
it.
What's
I
lightning?
know like there's a lot of static formed. I can't remember exactly what it is that caused, but there's a lot of turbulence, static, and then it's energy being released, and then the reason it forks is because it's finding the right pathways between. But I honestly don't remember exactly what it is why lightning is formed.
Well, my teacher told me in primary school, in kids' languages and in kids' terms, clouds bumping into each other. So when a cloud bumps into another cloud, they collide, and all that wonderful science stuff happens, and you have the and the lightning is the staticness, the
I was
static.
gonna look it
electricity.
up, but I don't want to accidentally stop the.
So once you
the static
understand that,
electricity.
though,
Yeah.
once you can understand what lightning and thunder is, then you can just sort of add it to that experience that you had where it was only coming from these two directional audio things in the sky, which you could see in your
Which
mind.
makes it even.
Because it's supposed to be natural and random and stuff, but
Yeah,
why was
which
it
makes it
blah,
kinda
blah,
even-
blah, A, B, A, B, A, B, 1, 2, 1, 2? Like, huh? Why is there like a conversation going on between these two things?
Well,
So you
probably
have
the other realistic explanation for that is it's not that it was happening in
What if
these
it was
two
industrial?
locations. Well, it's not that it was happening in those two locations. It's how the sound was resonating in my room to make it sound like it was happening in those, to give the perspective from me where I was sitting in my bed and how the sound entered my room and traveled around and reached my ears, and then my mind perceived it and
Sound
and
bouncing
even
off
though
of things.
even though it sounded like it was coming from, but I don't know, the amount of noise behind it, like, and it's not just, it wasn't just the sound, but like, well, sound is vibrations, but you could kind of feel it coming from the directions. When something has such a like wide area of effect, it's you're usually pinpointing it to the right spot. Who knows?
Yeah, but anyway, in general, I love the sound of thunder. I love the sound. I love seeing lightning. So we started off talking about like horror and stuff like that, and it ended up turning into the sound of thunder and weird phenomena and all that kind of
That's
stuff.
bizarre that people can be like. I can understand. Maybe if you have like sensitivity to sounds, why you might get scared from thunder or lightning, but it's. I don't know.
As a kid, I was scared of it because it was loud and
Really? I
you
don't
could
think I
die
was
from it.
Ever scared of it? Oh, maybe when out like swimming, obviously, you would run inside because you hear well, you just know that like water conducts electricity, so you think if I'm in water,
Yeah.
But really, yeah.
Especially when it's raining and everything's doused in water and you're connected to the earth. You're like, oh shit.
I'm connected to everything.
Yeah, so if the lightning strikes there, I'll probably get a little residual effect from that, and I'll probably get electrocuted. Oh.
What about that video of the guy getting struck by lightning? It was like 3 times in a row. It's a street view, and he's just walking down the street, and he just falls over, straight knocked out. And he gets up, Huh, what the? What am I doing? Takes a cup, struck, falls over again, gets up again, even like more drunk and wobbly, and gets up and then like I'm pretty sure it was 3 times in a row, and yeah, he gets up the 3rd time, and you're just like, well, Jesus Christ, man. So wearing some good shoes.
Yeah, it must have been because electricity is lazy. That's another thing I was taught at school. Is to avoid getting hit by lightning, look for
Oh, I used to wear rubber shoes and it won't hit you at all because it can't be earth.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Avoid like, oh, it's raining, go underneath a tree. Like, no, because the
they
trees,
want to strike the tree. Yeah.
yeah, the lightning's like looking for the laziest. It's lazy, so it's looking for the quickest.
The quickest connection to the earth.
Yeah, like, oh, there you go, bang.
And that's why it's all bumping around and.
Yeah, because in real time it's trying to figure out like. He'll do, yeah.
Have you ever watched lightning in slow motion and you can see the nodes forming before the actual lightning takes the path, before the electricity disperses?
I saw that shit in motherfucking 4K,
yeah.
super high definition, condensed video in ultra slow motion.
How good is it to live in the time we live in?
To see that form before the thing happens. Dude, I've seen sprites. You know what a fucking sprite is? It's lightning that occurs. It's extremely rare, but it's just, yeah, it strikes up. It's like red colored, and they're called like dancing sprites or angel sprites or some shit.
Yeah.
That goes beyond our ozone layer, and they shoot upwards. And some guy, this is a documentary, and he like took a picture of it, and he's like, there it is, and you're like, holy shit!
I was traveling around Australia with my dad and my sister, and I think this was in Northern Territory. Oh, no, I think it was earlier on actually. It might have been Western Australia or the SA, and we were in a just big open desert. It could have been the Nullarbor Desert, but there was some area that we were in where it was just really dry and it was raining all the time, and there'd be thundercloud over here, thundercloud over there, everything just happening everywhere at once, and you'd be going in and out of it. So you'd be in the rain, then you'd be out of the rain, and you could see it raining over here. It was all just like gushing down. You could see a thundercloud. We found this really good high vantage point where it was a lookout, and everywhere else was just flat, and you could see in the distance there was this huge thunderstorm.
Oh hell
just coming down,
and you could see all of it.
Yeah, and it was just like gathered but it was all gathered in this one little group. Like it wasn't like spread out over the expanse. It was here, and then you look over there, and there was another formation of rain clouds. But I just remember seeing this vivid thunderstorm where it was just coming down. It's just non-stop. And then you're driving through the area, and there's all these like burnt down like forests that have just like all these fires that have started, and yeah, it's fucking wicked.
I recently, like 2 weeks ago, learnt I forgot what they're called, rain walls.
Yeah.
It's just where rain just stops.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about. Where you see
so
like
weird.
you could literally see it, and it was like this is the cloud
You just
surrounded
walk into
by,
it, and you can walk
and
out of it.
everywhere is like coming down with rain, and then
You can see that's where it's raining. You go to the hummock and everything, and you can see you can just see it like moving.
I get that all the time.
Like it's an entity, like it's a fucking creature
going
through.
I had
this.
Going, have you ever had the experience of a rain wall where you're driving, but the cloud's going like as fast or slightly faster? In this situation,
I can imagine it.
It's going the exact same speed as I was, so I could see the rain in front of me. But no matter how long I was driving for, I never went into it because it was going in front. Like it was driving in front of me, and I'm just watching this rain but never having to put my windscreen wipers on because I just wasn't getting wet by it.
Fucking insane. You have to remember that they are technically like an entity. Like it's a thing that's just moving in the sky. That's so full of water that it's leaking that delicious rainwater down onto the ground, and it moves because the wind is pushing it. It's fucking crazy. And you look up in the sky and you see these huge clouds, especially the ones when you have good depth perspective or whatever, depth deception. When you're like, oh yeah. When your deception is so deep.
You know what depth deception is? When you know how there's that saying where if you get like a group of like 4, 5 ugly women or ugly chicks all in the same same area, and because they're all together, it makes them collectively look good.
Oh yeah, you
Depth
could
deception.
deception.
Yeah, what were you saying?
Yeah, if you got a rope and you got them all together and like squashed them all in, you're like, yeah, you could probably get like a semi-attractive lady out of it. But no, you can see when you look at the cloud and you see just this huge cloud, you're like, that's got to be like the size of the town that you're in. Because look at it when you see a little plane going by and it's just this little dot that's like, but it's going thousands or hundreds of kilometers, or 100 million kilometers an hour.
Yeah,
But it's just going, and then behind it is this big, thick, fucking white cloud, and you're like, yeah, that's got to be like a few 100,000 soccer ball fields wide.
Yeah,
Like, it's the size of a fucking city, and you're like, yeah, that's a nice looking cloud.
It looks like a penis.
Kind of looks like a penis. Like a set of tits.
Oh, what's the...
Looks like a set of titties.
Yeah. Oh my god, that looks like a giant dick. What are you doing?
Dick, what are you doing? It's like, oh yeah, no, but schlong. Schlong, yeah. Good old Austin Powers. They're making a new one right now.
Did you watch that Canadian show that he put out as kind of like a tester to see, like, test the waters, see if like people are still interested in
that
this
type
kind
of
humor?
comedy? Yeah.
I watched like 4 or 5 episodes and I kind of trailed off. It wasn't as interesting. I think the whole Canadian aspect of it wasn't as funny to me.
It's a style of
good.
comedy that
Not as funny as Austin Powers was. Goddamn.
Yeah, talking about Austin Powers comedy, that is it's
dry
silly.
humor.
It's very, very, very silly, but it just works.
It's so childish. Like, yeah, all the dick and balls and the shadow jokes where someone's getting a rod up there.
Yeah,
Or rod actually, a lot of it's coming out of.
Yeah, that type of thing can resonate with literally every generation. So I know he's older, and I know that there's a younger audience nowadays. It's been a few decades, but the younger audiences in their teens and 20s and stuff will still get a kick out of the ridiculously silliness, because that's what his type of comedy is just sit there and laugh at the silliness.
Well, there's that one term that a lot of kids probably don't even realize that it comes from. What's the thing where he's driving the car and he gets it wedged in?
Yeah, that's a meme. It became
what's it called? There's a name for it that everyone uses just like commonly, and they probably wouldn't even realize it comes from that movie.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, they've categorized it though. They gave it a name. Yeah, but that type of comedy, like, it still resonates, and I'm pretty sure that style of comedy that
I gotta know what that is.
Yeah, look it up, because I'm kind of like, it's on the tip of my tongue, but
I'm not even gonna put Austin Powers. Oh shit! It stopped. All right, I think it's gotta stop for a sec.
I'll make some noise.
Oh, I guess we still got the audio on that. God, that's good. I love that it does the audio from both. What are we talking about? Isn't it just called Austin Powers? Isn't it just called...
It's not Austin Powers meme.
No, isn't it just called Austin Powersing it? Like, oh, you've Austin Powers it? No? Oh, I don't know. Name for...
I know that there's a name for it, but I know what it is.
Name for wedging something.
After this segment, I'm going to show you the thing that I purchased that we can use for a prop in the... But, oh man, it's so fucking cool. I want to bring it out and play with it, like, right now.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate fidget spinner.
Okay, I was like, what are you talking about, Benny?
Oh, I just want to pull it out and play with it.
It's not coming up.
Austin Powers meme.
I think it is
thing.
just called Austin Powersing it. Like I think the name of the Austin
Powers.
Powers is just
Powersing.
Powersing. I think that just
A Powering
I don't know.
force.
it's a glove. Or you are gonna pull it out and play with. Put your gloves.
This
You gotta
isn't
put
the
your
thing.
gloves on first.
The thing
yeah.
in there is fucking 10 billion times better than these little pair of gloves that are.
But you need gloves to handle it.
need.
Damn, son. How big is it?
Special.
Seen nothing yet.
Special thing, isn't it? Nah, I just looked around and looked for things to grab, just to like show and everything like that, and I just got these pair of gloves, and they're really grippy. Like when you grip, it's like garden.
I've got some fingerless gloves that I use for
Like-
weightlifting sometimes, where they got like that extra grip in them. So
Yeah,
I can
these are
hold
fucking-
things. Whoa,
these are-
damn! Mine aren't that grippy, but yeah,
These are like
a
insane.
little bit of friction.
Like you grip onto like sticks and brooms and
Sticks.
yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, I was either gonna say sticks or hose.
Sure.
You grab onto a hoe.
grab them holes.
When you grab onto a hoe, like
You grab onto that hole.
Yeah, you won't be able to let go if you grab onto that hoe.
Hey, grab that hole, though.
But yeah, I got those things there and everything like that.
God damn, I love grabbing hose.
And if we were going to play pool at some point, I was wondering to see how grippy it would be to grip onto these things with the.
Oh yeah, we
these
probably could,
gloves.
because I don't think we'll film like a short thing today. I'll have a look through. Maybe there'll be something. We probably could just do the one with the glass. That's so basic. It's really just it's just gonna film us moving some boxes and shit for like 5-10 minutes, and then doing close-up reactions in different spots. Yeah, go on then.
Re-recording and everything.
Yeah, it's
I
all
want- I
still
wanna-
going.
Dude.
They were both flashing. Audio.
So, I
Audio.
went to the toy store. I went to Toy World and I was looking at all the things.
Oh,
And
did you now? Dude, my belly's still going. Yeah, go.
you need more snacks. Well, snack on this then. This is my toy, and there was a toy that
This is my toy.
yes. I brought something else. So we got this right.
Yeah, the gun. Oh, you got a better one. That's gun. That's not a gun.
This is from the reject shop. It was like
Oh, yeah.
$3.
Yeah, pretty cool.
This is what $20 gets you though.
So $20 gets you. Oh shit! That's dope.
Now
Second prop. Is it a cap gun?
look,
Oh, it is a cap
you
gun.
put the thing in there.
That's
you know,
mad.
You
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it in there, and then you. Now, what's awesome about
I wonder
this?
what that would actually sound like. Whether you could film with that as a prop, but then actually firing the caps, you could modify the sound to make it sound more. Obviously, it's going to have the right kind of bang. It's not going to be the exact same, but maybe you could just modify the audio pre-recording. No, post-recording.
Yeah, but see, it had a little red thing sticking out here. I
And you got
chopped
rid
it
of it,
off,
yeah.
and I painted this. You can sort of still see it.
No, that's awesome.
But what's even more awesome, the weight. Feel it.
I was going to say. Ooh! Yeah,
Yeah.
wow!
Yeah,
Yeah! Yeah!
like
Whoa,
the
you hear that one?
heaviness. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
$20.
Pretend to clock it.
$20, and in the box
Shit,
I
dude.
didn't even get a gig.
Where at? Is that Toys R Us?
Toys R Us,
Ooh, I might go buy another one.
Toy World. Yeah, I was gonna say. And then you
Do
can.
they have
put it
other versions there? I can't believe you found these so easily. I've been
have
looking at different
magnums.
places for.
revolvers.
Yeah, the revolvers are pretty common. I've definitely seen some of them.
They have Car 98s.
Oh, they just don't give a shit. Apparently,
and it's all
yeah, Big W
ultra
and Kmart
realistic.
and everywhere else that I've been looking online. It's I never typed in specifically. I was kind of typing in toy guns, so maybe that's where my fallacy.
And they're all like 20-something bucks each. I'm like, this is $20. Like, it's got weight to it. It feels like an actual gun, and it's got little things you can. You know, and it's
Pistol whip. Oh, shut
But
the
yeah.
fuck up, Billy.
if there's ever. A
Oh,
scene
did you
where
hear that one? Surely you heard that.
Yeah, I heard that.
Holy
I wonder
crap,
if
dude.
that got picked up
Oh.
with the audio.
It's popping off now. And I already ate too. Like and then I've been snacking. I wonder if it's just because of the fizziness. From these
Carbonation.
drinks,
Yeah, it's probably just the carbs or whatever it is.
But usually your belly only rumbles when it's all empty.
Yeah, isn't it just like like
Hello.
an audio signal? Like, feed
Isn't
me,
it just audio?
feed me, what food in me?
Get in my belly.
Get in my belly.
Oh, I think it's how we're sitting as well. I keep during this podcast. There's been a couple of times where I do this all the time, where a song comes to mind and you want to like sing it out, and I'm not sure what the limit is on how many words you can say before something gets
It's seconds, isn't it? 7 seconds or 10
I don't
seconds?
know, man. I don't even want to test it. I don't want to know. I don't want to find out the hard way.
You can't
So
even
I'll
sing happy birthday.
I'll say like 2 words, and then I'm like, nope, stop.
You can't sing happy birthday either. That's a
Did you
copyrighted
get the
song.
reference? Maybe not.
I've seen streams where like people would donate $5 or something, and it would be like a lyric,
Yeah.
and that the person would love like, oh yeah, I see you down, and they're like, oh. They stop because they can't. Yeah, they can't.
I
Sing
get at least I can edit.
They can say the lyric, but they can't sing it. Like, oh, I really want to sing it because it's my favourite song. Like, damn you, chat member, for sending me $5 and making me want to say it, but I can't because I get the whole thing would get copyrighted or muted, or just that section would be maybe like.
Oh,
It just
I'd be
gets
okay with
muted.
that wouldn't bother me at all. But I would expect it to
Claiming
like why would it
the
just
money that you make
why would it
from
waste its time like sectioning off this one thing but I feel like instead it's just gonna mute the whole thing. It's just gonna put the stamp on. No sound. Yeah, that's pretty dope. That's mad.
Yeah, go to
Really
Toy
nice
World.
prop. Really nice prop. Yeah, I'll have to. I haven't really been looking. Actually, I can't say I've been looking that hard for guns or anything lately. Or props in general. Sometimes.
That's just for action scenes.
Oh yeah, great.
I'm not a lot of like action scenes are in it though, because it's all just skits. But I'm just thinking like, what else?
You don't even
other
have to
than
fire it.
weapons?
Sometimes you just have to have it like there and just have it seen. Maybe
Like
it would be funny to do a skit where a guy's just like waving it around. Like maybe he forgets that he even has it in his hand, or
Yeah,
it could just be there. It could just be like.
You could
silly.
make a video where a guy is just way too comfortable with his gun, and he brings it around to everywhere he goes, and he's like, yeah, you know, this and that. And I was talking to old mate, and you were talking to, and everyone's just like. It's just, but that's been done with, you know, like Always Sunny.
Yeah,
and,
I've seen that happen a lot.
The Simpsons, with, Homer with his gun. He gets a gun and he uses it to change the channel. And
You could throw it out in a situation where instead of him waving it around, there could just be a really funny scenario where it just falls out. Like,
have you seen the
Or-
Joker?
or maybe they don't
that's
even-
a scene from the Joker.
oh really?
Yeah, he's dancing like this, and he has a gun to protect
Oh,
himself,
yeah,
and it
yeah.
falls out, and he's like, what was that? What's that? That's not mine. And then the next scene, he's like, you're fired.
Damn. No, you could do it, but and then everyone stops and he leans down, picks it up, they're staring at each other, and he puts it away, and then the conversation just continues like normal. And it's like it has nothing to do with anything. The gun doesn't come up again. It's just randomly in a scenario where someone you wouldn't think has a gun, that something happens, he bumps into something, it drops down, and it's like really suspenseful, and everyone's looking at each other, and he picks it up, puts it away, and it just put a break in the skit.
Yeah. But yeah, props and toys and stuff, and even like costumes and outfits and stuff. Like I walk past, you know, like the salvos things and stuff, and I see like
Secondhand stores. Yeah, that's where I got a lot of my props from. Just different costumes you can get from them. Really cool hats.
construction wear. There was a raincoat looking thing. Painting, like painter's outfit that still had like paint marks on it and stuff, and I'm like, God damn. It's probably like, you know, $12 or something.
I wish they had more like onesie suits. Like I've got the Green Man suit that I bought from online.
Yeah.
The green screen, but there's a couple. There's like a Jester one and a few others, but yeah, I wish more people bought them and getting thrown away. Shut the fuck up. You are not invited. ay, ay. Oh, I got some cards coming today. Ooh. Or One Piece cards, man.
Very nice.
Fucking love One Piece cards.
Ugh.
Every time I get them, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll just open a couple and... Yeah.
Well, let me just. I'm going. Yeah. I never got into it, but I understand.
Holy
I understand
fuck,
that thing.
bro.
Oh, dude, I had these. This is the 90s, like the fucking early 90s of. There was these cards called Oddbods. You probably don't even know them. Yeah, no one knows them. It was such a small thing, but there were these cards that had these.
Oh, I feel like this is gonna overheat. Yeah, keep going.
They had
It'll beep when it
just
does.
had different types of people that had different abilities, and and some of them were like glow in the dark, and some of them you would like fold them to make like a unique picture, and they would animate when you go like this, the type of thing where you get your finger down and you'd be like zip, 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 zip. You know, had that like
Yeah.
and you used
Like
to be
the yeah.
I used to do that like. You need to fucking eat something.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know, dude.
Eat this bullet.
Eat.
I'll just kill you like that. Then we end the podcast like you should eat something, Mark. How about eating this bullet? And you go ah, and I'm there like that's it. That's the end. And I like walk off, and you hear like you have like sirens like.
Oh, someone set up
$20.
ambulance gave me and my stepmom a fright the other day. We were driving behind one, and it just like a cop car was coming the other way, and we didn't see the cop car, but they were signaling to just be like, hey, and they set their sirens off, and we were like sitting right behind them. Just, oh, what the?
Yeah.
What? No, you just said hi.
You're like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was like
Literally directly in front of us.
so
The
loud.
lights are just like.
Even when you see an ambulance coming this way and it's going, and you know, as soon as when it goes by, you're just going to get that fucking sharp jolt of a sound because it goes, and you're like, ah, and it just like whips your fucking right ear.
You know, I just thought of something that'll get rid of my hunger. I'm gonna eat some eggs.
And I'm going to make silly noises.
I'm gonna make some noises.
I'm gonna make some eggs and I'm gonna make some noises.
And I'm going to make it rain. Let me tell you all a joke.
I'm gonna tell a joke that I told somebody the other day and I can't remember the joke.
Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. Thank you. No, I'm good.
I told someone the other day. That about a joke that they wouldn't understand. I was like, I'm going to tell you a joke, and you're going to know what the answer is. You're going to get it, but you're not going to get it. And she was like, okay, tell me the joke then. And I was like, why did the chicken cross the road? And I said, to get to the other side. And she was like, oh yeah. So you get it, don't you? So yeah. It's like, no, you don't get it. It's like, explain why you get the joke. Explain it then. Because I was doing an analysis.
That's the worst, man.
Well, I wasn't telling her a joke. I wasn't trying to make her laugh. I was like explaining this whole thing of, especially that one joke where people go, "Oh yeah, I get it, yeah," but they actually don't get it.
No,
So why did the chicken cross the road? Because he wanted to get to the other side. There's two layers. You got the one that makes the most sense. Chicken is dumb, wants to get to the other side because he's stupid. But then you have to realize it's a play on words. Like you understand what the joke is.
I think you told me. I think you told me one time. But
Chicken wanted to get to the other side.
Yeah.
the other side. It's a form of it's a
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
you say,
death, yeah.
yeah. If you want to die, you want to see what's on the other side, and you're like, oh yeah. Oh, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't know that. I just thought it meant the chicken wanted to go to the other side." Like it's one of those bland sort of answers to a joke.
Yeah, it's like a non-joke.
Yeah, it's a joke that isn't a joke. To get to the other side, and there was a movie that did the same similar thing where it's a joke but it's not a joke. About this, the guy's like tells a story about a snail crawling up the guy's porch, and the guy sees it and kicks the snail. And then, like 5 years later, the snail makes it.
Jesus.
Yeah, the snail makes its way back up to the porch, and it's got its shells all broken now. And it's been like 5 years, and the guy, as he's walking out to go to work and everything, he sees it. He sees the snail. It came all the way back, and he leans down to the snail and he says, "The fuck's your problem?" See, it's not a. The first thing that you feel like doing is laughing. See, isn't it? That's the most weirdest thing.
Yeah, well, it's.
See,
it's
That's why I love jokes so much.
Well, it's all about expectations. It's you're expecting something. Well, for me personally, that's
tell
why
you that
I
joke.
like jokes like that.
Yeah,
Because it's like you're expecting something else, but
Well,
then
Well, it's a non-joke. I have to fix my. It's when you.
Just, the guys on top of each other. What the fuck? That's funny. There's the green and the blue guy on the other side. Yeah, well, there's one upside down, but yeah, he's just on his shoulder, just the one shoulder though. That's great.
Yeah, they're
Dancing.
yeah, they're reaching up
Like
to
it's
hit the heart or something.
It's almost like he's going for like a slam dunk or something. He's run in, jumped up.
Well, it's got the movement marks, so that's a dog. That's very mumbo.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're moving.
This is dog.
They're dancing and yeah, it's all crazy and stuff like. There's Keith Haring, by the way. Shout out to Keith Haring, or however you pronounce his fucking name.
What a hand looks like inside out. Shout out to who?
Keith Haring or something like that. He's a indie guy who I've got a few of his shirts and shorts and stuff. It's very cool stuff. It's very in the style of mumbo, but it's like American style of mumbo. Same sort of thing, but yeah, just this little indie guy from New York named Keith something.
Yeah. That's
And
pretty
I
cool.
think he's
I don't think I have like any shirts or anything that are specifically by one thing. I don't know if you can notice, I've got these little yellow dots like all over this shirt. And some people, usually you get yellow stains from sweat. But mine, these ones are from, I was at the store one time, those little like squishy balls that you can roll around and they're fun to just like play with. And
I got one on my
with.
desk. Yeah.
I picked one up at the $1 store and just
Pop.
just popped all over me. Most of it came out, thank God. But yeah, that was a bit of just yellow slime all over my hands. I was like,
Yeah, mine's a green ball, but when you squeeze it, it turns yellow because it's got yellow stuff in it, and you. It's very cool, very squishy. Little squish ball on my desk.
very nice. Oh, I feel good. Barely had any sleep, but I'm awake. I'm rolling. Things are going. Yeah, it's hard not to just get distracted by it. I can't wait to do I don't know what the script's going to be yet. Or the story, really. There's not really going to be any script. It's going to... Where we're doing the finger thing. Yeah, our characters are going around. Oh, I can't wait to do that one. Now that everything's kind of set up in here, it'll be a lot easier to do. Yeah. I'm not sure how we're going to get the camera angles. Because I want to do the... running along like the top shelves, because I feel like our little dudes, they'll be see little like wooden things up in the background. I feel like that's kind of where they'll be living, like they'll be running up and kind of hiding in the like a mouse would, and
kind of like
don't
the
know how we'll
borrowers.
film it. Yeah.
like that movie, The
There's,
Borrowers.
and there's so many little things like that around this room, which is great. I just don't know how we're actually going to film like that. I wonder if, now that I've got the GoPros, that's pretty good. I wonder if we could really almost just like hold the, I guess you wouldn't need to put it on your fingers. You can just hold it and then move it around like that's the perspective of our fingers going around. But as long as you have one in front, so it's still, you can see one going, and the other one is the younger brother following behind. Oh, it's gonna look so cool, dude. Another really fun thing to film. Odd period. Yeah.
Yeah. How you going? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
That's funny. Can you see mine?
Oh, I can't see the screen on mine.
Oh yeah. This is so stupid. That's funny.
I don't know, I just saw a pair of lips like here and I'm like, oh yeah, I could probably...
Yeah, that's good. That's funny. Oh. You just need to put some water in it, and then you hold it closed, and then you can vomit it out. When it opens up, all the water will come out. Or you put some like oh, what's the oatmeal? Put some oatmeal in there, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we'll end it there.
Hang on, this is my grand finale of the
Yeah.
thing then. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. 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 Yeah, I can't move my mouth. My mouth is stuck.
Wait. Go. I'll line it up.
I'm trying to open the mouth.
Open.
It can't open. It doesn't want to open. There it is. Oh!
Very nice, very nice. Oh, thanks guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Another
Hope you found it amusing.
It's not really. It wasn't. Oh, most of it was pretty good for audio listeners, but that little bit, nice little treat for anyone who takes the time to watch it. Greatly appreciated. Leave a like.
We appreciate.
Like if you want to like. Don't like if you want to like. If you don't like it, dislike it. You're welcome. Decent. Yeah, probably end it there. Incorrect pin. Another one. Very good.
And let's start another one.